The day trust died. The message that changed everything. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood in the command center of the Earth Defense Station, watching the stars through the massive viewing window. She had been a soldier for 15 years, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. The communication screen in front of her displayed a message that made her blood run cold. "They're abandoning us," whispered Lieutenant Chen, her second-in-command. His voice shook as he read the words again. "The Krillian Empire is pulling back their forces. Right now. In the middle of the battle." Sarah couldn't believe it. The Krillians had been humanity's closest allies for 20 years. They had shared technology, fought side by side against the Void Swarm, and promised eternal friendship. Their leader, Commander Zarthex, had personally called humans the younger siblings of the galaxy. But now, as the Void Swarm attacked Earth's outer colonies, the Krillian fleet was retreating. Not to regroup. Not to get reinforcements. They were leaving completely. The betrayal unfolds. Sarah activated the emergency channel to the Krillian flagship. "Commander Zarthex, what is happening? We need your support. The colonies are under attack." The alien commander's face appeared on the screen. His 6 eyes looked at her without emotion. "Captain Mitchell, the Krillian Empire has made a new agreement with the Void Swarm. They have offered us peace in exchange for Earth's territory." Sarah felt like someone had punched her in the stomach. "What? You made a deal with them? While we're fighting together?" "It was a business decision," Zarthex said calmly. "The cost of war was too high. Your species is young. You don't understand how the galaxy really works. Sometimes, the weak must be sacrificed for the strong to survive. We trusted you." Sarah shouted. "We shared everything with you. We fought for you." "Yes, and you were useful," Zarthex replied. His voice held no regret. "But usefulness has limits. The Void Swarm is powerful. Fighting them would cost us millions of lives. Giving them your worlds costs us nothing. It's simple mathematics, little sister." The massacre begins. Before Sarah could respond, alarms screamed throughout the station. On the tactical display, she watched in horror as Krillian ships turned their weapons toward human vessels. Ships that had fought together for years were now firing at each other. But it wasn't a fair fight. The human fleet had positioned themselves to fight the Void Swarm. Their shields faced the wrong direction. Their formations were designed for cooperation, not defense against betrayal. The first human ship exploded in a ball of flame. Then another. And another. "Return fire," Sarah commanded. "All ships, emergency protocols. We're under attack by Krillian forces." But it was too late. The Krillians had planned this perfectly. They knew where every human ship would be. They knew when humanity would be most vulnerable. The massacre lasted less than an hour. When it ended, 90% of Earth's space fleet was destroyed. 23 million humans died in space. Another 100 million died when the Void Swarm invaded the outer colonies unopposed. The survivors. Sarah's station survived because it was heavily armored and designed for defense. But she watched helplessly as ship after ship fell to Krillian weapons. She heard the final transmissions from captains she had known for years. Friends. Colleagues. People with families waiting for them at home. All of them gone. When the battle ended, Zarthex's face appeared on her screen one more time. "Captain Mitchell, I hope you understand this was not personal. The galaxy is a harsh place. The strong survive. The weak perish. Humanity will learn this lesson, or humanity will disappear." "You think we're weak?" Sarah asked. Her voice was quiet, but something in her tone made even the alien commander pause. "You are children playing with toys you don't understand," Zarthex said. "Accept your fate with grace. Perhaps in a few generations, the galaxy will remember you fondly." Sarah looked directly at the screen. "We will remember you too. Every single one of us." And one day, we will show you what children can do when they grow up. Zarthex laughed. It was a cold sound, like stones grinding together. You have no fleet. You have no allies. Earth stands alone against an entire galaxy that doesn't care if you live or die. What can you possibly do? Sarah didn't answer. She simply ended the transmission and turned to her remaining crew. The promise. The survivors of the massacre limped back to Earth on damaged ships. The journey took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of tending to the wounded, repairing critical systems, and counting the dead. Sarah didn't sleep during those weeks. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw ships exploding. She heard the screams over the radio. She felt the weight of all those lives lost because someone they trusted had betrayed them. When they finally reached Earth, the planet was in chaos. The Void Swarm had taken 12 colony worlds. The Krillian Empire and the Void Swarm had divided human space between them like merchants splitting profits. Earth's government called for an emergency session. Leaders from every nation gathered to hear Sarah's report. She stood before them and told the truth. Every horrible detail. When she finished, the chamber was silent. President Jackson, an old general who had fought in 3 wars, looked at Sarah with tired eyes. What do you recommend, Captain? Sarah thought about Zarthex's laugh. She thought about his words. Accept your fate with grace. No, she said firmly. We don't accept this. We don't forgive this. We remember every life they took. We remember every promise they broke. And we make them pay. How? Asked the president. They destroyed our fleet. They took our colonies. We're alone. Sarah's eyes burned with determination. Then we rebuild. We plan. We prepare. And when we're ready, we don't just fight them. We take everything they have. Every ship. Every station. Every world they own. We strip them bare and leave them with nothing but the memory of what they did to us. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some called it impossible. Some called it madness. But Sarah noticed that no one called it wrong. That night, Earth broadcast a message across every frequency in the galaxy. It reached the Krillians. It reached the Void Swarm. It reached every species in known space. The message was only 2 words, we remember. The silent years. Building in darkness. 10 years passed in absolute silence. The Krillian Empire watched Earth from a distance, their sensor arrays monitoring human activity. Their reports to Commander Zarthex were always the same: the humans were quiet, defeated, rebuilding slowly like a wounded animal nursing its injuries. They had no idea how wrong they were. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in tunnels carved from ancient rock, humanity was building something the galaxy had never seen. Director James Park stood in the heart of the Red Shadow facility, watching as workers assembled the first of the new warships. The vessel was massive, 3 times larger than anything humanity had built before the Betrayal. Its hull was coated in a special material that absorbed sensor scans, making it nearly invisible to detection. Its engines used quantum field technology that should have taken centuries to develop. How many more can we build? Asked Colonel Lisa Chan, Park's chief of operations. We have facilities on Mars, Europa, Titan, and in the asteroid belt, Park replied. Hidden beneath ice, inside hollowed-out rocks, behind sensor shields. We can produce 20 ships per month. We've been doing it for 8 years. Chan's eyes widened. That means we have over 1,500 ships ready for deployment. Another 1,000 in various stages of construction. The Krillians think we have maybe 50 old vessels limping around the solar system. The new weapons. Park led Chen through the facility, showing her the innovations that desperation had created. Engineers had developed weapons that could disable enemy shields without firing a shot. Soldiers trained with equipment that could breach any hull in seconds. Scientists had cracked the secrets of instant space travel, allowing ships to appear anywhere without warning. Everything we learned from the Krillians, we improved, Park explained. They gave us scraps thinking we were too primitive to understand. They were wrong. We took their technology and made it better. Stronger. Deadlier. But the most important development wasn't a weapon. It was something Park called the ledger. In a secure room at the facilities center, thousands of screens displayed information about the Krillian Empire. Every ship they owned. Every station they operated. Every trade route they used. Every resource they possessed. Every credit in their banks. How did you get all this? Chen asked in amazement. We have spies, Park said. Humans who volunteered to infiltrate Krillian space, knowing they might never return. We have captured communications. We have hidden sensors scattered throughout their territory. For 10 years, we've watched and learned and recorded everything. He pointed to the main display. When we strike, we won't just attack. We'll systematically seize every asset they have. We'll take their ships intact. We'll capture their stations. We'll transfer their wealth to our accounts. We'll leave them with nothing. Training the new generation. In facilities across the solar system, millions of young humans trained for the war to come. They had grown up hearing stories about the betrayal. They had lost parents, siblings, friends in the massacre. They wanted justice. Sergeant Maria Santos watched her squad practice boarding maneuvers. They moved with perfect precision, breaching simulated enemy ships and securing them without causing damage. That was the key: take, don't destroy. Why don't we just blow them up? Asked one young recruit. After what they did to us? Maria shook her head. Because we're better than them. We take their ships and add them to our fleet. We capture their soldiers and release them unharmed. We prove that humanity can win without becoming monsters. The recruit looked confused. But they killed millions of us. Yes, Maria said. And we'll make them pay by taking everything they have. But we won't kill them. We won't torture them. We'll show the galaxy that humans are strong enough to win and merciful enough to spare the defeated. That's real power. The final preparations. 10 years after the betrayal, the last pieces fell into place. The quantum drive technology was perfected. The final ships rolled off the assembly lines. The soldiers completed their training. The intelligence network mapped the last Krillian strongholds. Director Park stood before President Jackson in a secure conference room beneath the White House. We're ready, he said simply. How many ships? The president asked. 2,000 combat-ready vessels. Crews trained specifically for seizure operations. Enough firepower to overwhelm any defense the Krillians can muster. And casualties? On our side? Minimal if the plan works. On theirs? 0. We're not executing them. We're repossessing what they stole. President Jackson was quiet for a long moment. She was old now, one of the few leaders who had been in office during the betrayal. She remembered those dark days. She remembered the fear and the grief. Do it, she said. Show them what humanity has become. The fleet assembles. In the shadow of Saturn's rings, the human fleet gathered for the first time. 2,000 ships of war, each one carrying soldiers ready to board enemy vessels, technicians ready to seize control systems, and crews ready to pilot captured ships back to human space. Captain Sarah Mitchell, now an admiral, stood on the bridge of the flagship EDS Retribution. She had survived the massacre 10 years ago. She had spent every day since preparing for this moment. All ships report ready, her communications officer announced. Sarah activated the fleet-wide channel. Her voice carried to every vessel, reaching every crew member who had trained for years for this day. 10 years ago, the Krillian Empire betrayed us, she began. They murdered 23 million of our people. They stole our worlds. They called us weak and foolish for trusting them. Today, we show them what weakness really looks like. Today, we take back what they stole, and we take everything else as well. Not through murder. Not through cruelty. through systematic seizure of every asset they possess. When we're done, they'll have nothing but the memory of what they did to us and the knowledge that humanity never forgets. She looked at the assembled fleet through the view screen. 2,000 ships ready to strike. Ready to reclaim what was lost. Ready to rewrite the rules of the galaxy. All ships, activate quantum drives, Sarah commanded. We jump in 60 seconds. The countdown began. Across the fleet, engines hummed with power. Weapon systems charged. Soldiers checked their equipment one final time. At 0, 2,000 human warships vanished from the solar system in perfect silence, leaving behind only an automated message broadcasting on all frequencies, "We remember. Now you will pay."